The views and opinions expressed by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show are solely based on the show's host, guests, and viewers. We are solely responsible for all show content in its entirety and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of any sponsors in any way. These broadcasts are presented and made public by the On the Spot with David Rodgers team in the hope that it will be entertaining and informative to our viewers and listening audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's 7 o'clock and time for On the Spot with David Rodgers. And now, here he is, Mr. Friday Night, the show pony himself, the man, the dream, the legendary David Rodgers.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers. Mr. Byron Bagwell will be joining me, the Byron Bagwell. Right over here to my right is the Dancing Destroyer himself, Mr. Dave Holland over there, our director and producer. No Austin Stevens tonight because he's got a prior obligation. And, of course, Mitchell Gunner doing his thing on the Spot Motorsports with David Rodgers. So we'll get into that here in a little bit and some of the events, some of the things that he's got coming up. But, again, welcome in tonight to a great show. We've got breaking news. We have old news that y'all seen on the front of the Bedford County Telegraph, and we'll get into some events and some things that are going on within, of course, the city and the county here in Bradford and the regional area as well. We have a special guest tonight. Mr. Jacob Underhill will be our special guest. He owns Underhill's Forge. We'll be talking about some of the things that he does here with his business and an event that he's going to be participating in. So a lot of things to get to. Here's the Byron Bagwell. Say hello to everybody, baby.
Hello, everybody.
There we go. Glad that y'all could tune in tonight. Let's get the show started as we always do with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic quote of the night. Hey, Byron, we had a week hiatus. Mm-hmm. Some of us wasn't feeling well. All of us had sinuses and things like that going on. So we took a week off. And sometimes that happens to us. It does. Yeah, but we're back. Does. We're back in action. So I want you tonight. You can say a short prayer for us tonight. How about that? I'm going to let you do that.
Yes.
Would you mind doing that?
Yeah, no, I don't mind doing
it. No, I don't mind doing it. Okay, all right, let's go ahead. Let's do a prayer.
Dear Heavenly Father, please take care of everybody that's watching and listening to this show. Please give everyone the sound judgment and sound thinking that is necessary for this great country to function. Please also take care of all of our first responders.
Yes.
And please put your hands on all of our politicians and make them see reason. If there are any spoken or unspoken prayer requests, please hear them. And keep everybody safe on their travels. And it is all these things in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. That sounds like a good one to me. Let us stand here in just a second for our I caught y'all guard, didn't I?
You did.
Hey, it is what it is.
I can speak on certain subjects for a very long time.
Right.
But when I tend to pray,
mm-hmm.
to the maker, mm-hmm. it all tends to be short.
Oh, absolutely.
I've never been the person that could sit there and do what some people can do.
Right. And look, hey, that was a great prayer. I loved it. Our audience loved it. And now we're going to give pledge to our great nation as we do the Pledge of Allegiance. As we stand right here, there's the beautiful flag in front of us. Mr. Dave Holland, if you would you lead us off, sir?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Amen. All right. Glad to have you guys on. We're starting to have some people come on there, Dave. So we're going to be in great shape as we get this show rolling. Again, my name is David Rodgers. I'm the host of On the Spot with David Rodgers, also host the Byron Bagwell. The Dancing Destroyer himself, Super Dave Holland, back at the controls. No Austin Stevens tonight as he has got another commitment, and we're going to talk about Mitchell Gunner and that motorsports page. Wow, guys, that page is blowing slap up. Hey, NHRA coming to town with the Gator Nationals, all the racing that's going on within the area, things that are going on within the state of Florida and nationally too. And Mitchell Gunner seems to be staying on top of everything, and we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. B, what do you have for us?
A water leak on the side of our. What is going on?
I think Dave's got a little fire going over here to the right. Dave, what do we got? A fire pit there?
Hey.
That's all right. Hey, it's all good, right? So,
Like, wait a minute.
wait a minute here.
I'm looking around, going, "Where's the water going?"
Yeah, that's
Okay.
exactly right. Go ahead there, B.
All right. Give me just a second.
All right.
Where did it go? Darn it, the quote's gone. Give me just a second.
All right,
okay?
no worries. And while he's looking at that and he gives me the okay when he's ready, we have a lot of things to talk about tonight. We got a special guest again. I've said Jacob Underhill's going to be coming on with us here in just a little bit within the show. We've got things to talk about. Breaking news, Byron. He's got it now. Got breaking news. We've got news within our Bradford County Telegraph that's already been out there that I know some people has asked me about. But the main thing, Byron, that they want to talk about tonight is what happened here in the city of Stark. And we're going to give as much information as we have and as we can into that particular happening, if we want to say.
Before we start that conversation, David, and I know we've got a few things to do before that.
Absolutely.
I want to tell everybody one thing, and then I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Absolutely.
Okay, the quote of the night.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
And get out of here, Ad.
Get out of here, Ad.
Well, okay. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing.
David?
I think you did.
That's been said before.
That's been said before.
It's been a long time.
It's been a while. I'm glad you got a good memory there.
Yeah.
There's so many great quotes.
Give me a little bit of a hint.
It's not a founding father.
Okay, it's not. Okay. I'm gonna say. Is it way back? Is it way back? Yeah. Is it way back?
Yeah.
It's way back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Way back.
Way back. I'm gonna say that was Socrates.
We'll say Pluto.
Plato. Plato.
Pluto, Plato.
Okay.
Okay. That quote is normally attributed to Edmund Burke, which is a name some people will know, but it's actually not his quote. They're not sure who the quote is.
Oh, okay. He's credited with it, though?
Yeah, he's credited with it.
Okay.
There's another philosopher that was somewhat responsible for it, but they're really not sure exactly who said it. But Edmund Burke is the one that they normally give credit to for that.
Johnny Waterson, that was a hell of a guess. He said Edgar Allan Poe. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, hey, he took a stab at it without looking.
It's one that people hear. It's one that people know, but it's just not one that people know who actually said it.
Do you have another one?
I can get another one real quick.
Do you? Okay. All right. Why don't you get another one, Dave? On the week hiatus, what did you do? I know you were sort of feeling pretty good that last week. It was me that was sort of down. Byron was actually pretty good. It doesn't seem like we get sick together. We get sick individually. Dave don't feel good one week. I don't feel good a week. Byron doesn't feel good a week.
Yeah, weird how that plays out.
It is weird how that plays that out. But that's why we didn't have a show last week, was because of that. Yes, I've seen that. Yes, I have lost a lot of weight. I have.
Yes, he has.
I used to weigh at my heaviest 274.
Wow.
I'm down to 223, today's weight. I've lost over 50 pounds since August.
That's good.
Now, I've told you before, it's not because I don't like to eat and all that stuff and going on a diet. I was diagnosed as a pre-diabetic, so I'm on, of course, the medicines required for that, and cholesterol and blood pressure. And believe it or not, I said this before, and I told Dave's daughter-in-law about this. This is called Celsius. And I used to be a big proponent of drinking energy drinks. You remember that?
Yeah.
I used to get Red Bull and Bang and all those. And finally, when I got diagnosed with that, I had to get off of that. And most of those energy drinks carry a substance that I was telling you about, taurine or turretine, or maybe somebody taurine. And that's the ingredient that makes you hyped up and gives you that boost. This does not. This doesn't have it in it. And it has no sugar. It has no sodium, no carbohydrates. It doesn't have any protein either. So
the big problem with those energy drinks is the sugar content.
It's the sugar content.
There's
yeah,
a
and
ton
this
of
one
sugar
doesn't
in it.
have any. It's energy plus, yes, in a way, essential performance and zero sugar. So I drink one of those in the morning, one of those in the afternoon, along with my medicines because it doesn't affect it, and I'm keeping the weight off. And somebody asked me about that at work today, and everybody, I see even your daughter-in-law and Dave's like, man, you're slimming down and looking pretty good, and now I feel better. You know, Byron, I feel a lot better. I can move. I'm not lethargic. I don't see the glaze anymore. I pop right up out of bed, and now that I've gotten to this way, and I've been doing some push-ups and sit-ups. And then I think I'm going to start joining the gym. I think I'm going to go back to the gym.
Pull up to the table and eat some liver nuggets.
Well, then that helps too, right? So I'm going to start going back to the gym, and I'm going to start lifting some weights again. Going to get on that family plan and do the gym. And I think I will feel a lot better. I know I feel a lot better now, B. I really do.
Brother, I'm glad, because I know you didn't feel good. For a
No,
long
absolutely not. I was lethargic. You could tell it. There was some days, man, I had to pump myself up for energy. And right now, I mean, I feel great. I'll go home. And I can even eat at night now, Dave. You remember how we used to go and hit all those restaurants everywhere when they were open before pre-COVID? We used to go to those restaurants and we would eat at 9:30.
Yeah.
Sit there and talk till 10:30. Go back home, Jacob, and then it's 11 o'clock and you're sleeping on what you ate. And man, that's where the weight came in, brother. I'm telling you right now. And the diabetes probably too.
You're not the only one that
Yeah, and the
minus the diabetes, pre-diabetes thing. But
Yeah.
This has made me gain a bunch of weight too.
Well, and again, there's certain things that you can do. When was the last time, I was going to ask you too, when was the last time you had a diabetes test? Well, I know you go to the VA. You probably get it regularly, right? Because they
Yes,
test
I
me
do.
every time we do blood work.
Last
I
Wednesday.
test my blood every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last Wednesday.
And they didn't find anything, right? You're not within, you're within tolerance, aren't you, with your A1C and cholesterol?
My
And,
cholesterol has never been
Okay.
good. My
Okay.
cholesterol is a hereditary condition, and as you know, we've talked about, I can't take statin drugs.
right, you can't. That's
Because
what, right, right,
I'm allergic to them.
Right.
It makes me feel like I have the flu and I can't function.
right.
But my sugar was a little bit elevated, and that is every time they do this, and it seems like they catch me on 12 days, and I'm running on fumes.
Yeah, yeah.
And I like sweets.
Oh, who doesn't? Oh, I love them.
And when they do this, I tell them, okay, let's try it again in 3 months. And then for about a month before that, I cut them down to almost nothing, and my sugar levels are back the same way they're supposed to be.
Right.
And I
I'll
don't tell
tell you-
anybody that stuff because everybody gets concerned about it.
Right.
But at the same time, I know my body well enough to know that if I cut that out, it
Right.
stops.
So your sugar level, what's normal?
At that,
I'm trying to remember the numbers because
sure.
I want to say 120.
somewhere in there,
90.
A1C's got a different number, cholesterol's got a
yeah,
different number. You know, they
yeah.
bust it out like that. So I'll have to check those numbers,
Yeah.
David.
then the question to me is what is normal?
Right.
Because when I was 19 years old and I was playing sports and I weighed 165 pounds soaking wet and I didn't have any body fat on me at all, my cholesterol was high.
Imagine that. I don't know how that happens, but
They said, your cholesterol's high.
because the first thing they
I'm
tell
like,
hey,
what?
what's the first thing they tell you, David? And you know, Byron, what's the first thing that a doctor tells you if you're pre-diabetic? What's the first thing he tells you? Exercise. He says exercise will bring that down. You don't have to have medicine. Exercise,
Drink
and it's
lots
supposed
of
to bring it
water.
down. But you just heard the now, just on your cholesterol, right?
Mine's hereditary.
Yes.
I've never
Yes.
had sugar problems
Yeah.
unless I'm doing stuff I shouldn't be
too.
doing, and they check me. the
All
next
right,
day.
Miss Husky's here said less than 100, greater than 60.
Yes.
So that number
Okay,
does sound about right. So yeah, hey, thank you there, Miss Husky. I appreciate it. I don't want to mispronounce her first name there. Is that Ira Husky? I don't.
I'm not.
I just call her Miss Husky. I'll just say that. So
All right.
all right. So what do you got? Another quote.
One of the most cowardly things ordinary people do is shut their eyes to facts.
Wow, that was displayed in abundance here the last couple years or more.
Oh my goodness.
Amazing.
I will give you a hint. This
Yeah.
is an author,
Okay.
and this is an author of some very, very popular children's books that have been around for quite a while.
Dr. Seuss.
No, not
Token.
that commie. Oh, sorry.
No. Oh boy. Okay.
Sorry, bad Byron.
Bad Byron.
You
Let's see.
tell us.
When I say it, you're gonna know who it is.
Yeah, I'm sure. I have no clue. I'm trying to think.
They made a movie about his life called Shadowlands.
Shadowlands, and I know this guy. Golly, why can't I? You have told me this before, right? You've told me this
The crazy
before.
thing about this is one of the most just fantastic actors of our time, Anthony Hopkins,
Right.
actually played this guy, and nobody knows that Anthony Hopkins actually played this guy in this movie. It was a great movie. Good grief, it was great.
I have no clue, B. You can tell us.
C.S. Lewis.
C.S. Lewis. I knew that. Golly, I'm going to write that down because you're going to hit me with that again.
The Lion, the Witch, and the
C.S.
Wardrobe. They made it into movies.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm gonna
He
go
does
with
that
that.
all the time.
But anyway, well, good job, Byron. You stumped me a couple of times here, and here lately he's been stumping us. He's went down into the well. You know what he's done? And let me tell you what you've done. Because if he does a founding father or anybody in sort of the modern era, we know it. So he goes deeper. So you know what I'm going to start doing? I'm going to start looking at deeper quotes.
Sure.
I'm going to start looking at deeper quotes. But the problem
I
is
guarantee you I'm going to know all of them.
Hey.
But I will know some of them.
hey, I'm gonna. So when you ask, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I read that one, Byron. I know who that is. Because you're going way deep now. You're going deep.
We're going
You're
to have
going-
to
Best
stump
buy a
him.
book. Best buy a series of books.
Yeah, I'm gonna do something.
Call it Gulag Archipelago, and we can
Yeah.
start on the Solzhenitsyn.
Okay. All right, here we go. I'm not touching that one. All right. Welcome in Terry Johnson, Johnny Waterson, of course. Hey, Johnny. Dave Holland's watching. Johnny Waterson again said, Poe, not a bad guess. Melissa Manning is watching. She said, hey, you wild too. Yeah. Jajetta Lee Atkins is watching. Dave Holland Jr. is watching. Becky Thompson's watching. Chrissy Ricky Thompson's watching. Miss Husky is the one that gave us that number. She's watching. Hello there. David Holland Jr. said, eat like a king in the morning, then eat like a queen at lunch, then fast to the next morning. If you can do it, it will reset everything. Yeah, I can tend to agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. David Roden's watching. Terry Wilkinson Anderson's watching. Ellen Disher Williams is watching. Alicia Chuck Redding. Shell Silverstein. Wendy Russell's watching. Caitlin Tomlinson is watching. And Ashley Moore is watching. And whoever else is on there that has not put their name on there, I wish you would. Hey, anything that you want us to discuss, hey, it's open.
Facebook's the one that's responsible for doing that, putting their name on.
Yeah. So they're just not catching it all right now.
Yeah.
So anything that you want to talk about, hey, feel free to hit us up on the comments tonight. We've got some breaking news and some things going on that we're going to get into. We've got a special guest tonight, Jacob Underhill. He's going to be joining us from Underhill's Forge, talking about his blacksmith Bladesmith. Right. Bladesmith workings and some things he's got going on, not only with that, but with an event that he's going to be promoting and helping out with, and we're going to discuss that as well. But in the meantime, Byron, let's get started as we always do. Brady Rayburn. Byron Bagwell's watching.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Brady Rayburg's watching, too.
The
Hello,
show
Brady.
just
What's going
went
on?
down, you know.
Yeah, the numbers just went down because I'm on. But anyway, I know everybody wants to get into the breaking news, and we'll get into that right now, B. But I'm going to let you go ahead and say, you said you wanted to say something.
I do.
Before we get into that, what is going on. That's the big news right now within the county, within the city. And you know, we're going to talk about it a little bit, as much as we know about it and as much as we can say. So, Byron, I'm going to let you open up the floor with this and say what you wanted to say.
I wanted to say very briefly that we all don't need to jump to conclusions about any of this.
Absolutely.
Okay? With the exception, well, not even with the exception of the 2 people that were arrested today. Because in this country, we are guilty until we're proven innocent. And the court of public opinion is a very evil thing. It has driven people out of offices. It has caused all sort of nightmares with our government system. Please let this play out. Now, that being said, a lot of us know a lot of different things about what goes on in Bradford County and the people in Bradford County, and you're entitled to your opinion and you're entitled to your thoughts, just like I am. But just know, don't start convicting anybody on Facebook or anything else.
Or even on this show. Or even on this show, because I'll be honest
You
with
can
you.
express your opinion all you want.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But don't make up your mind about it until
Right.
it's all out there.
Right.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Unless you know some facts. But know that if you stick your neck out, you better be right about those facts when you do it. Because there are laws in this country that are against slander.
Well said, Byron. And we'll get into that news right now. And I'll read what was wrote. And if you've seen what was wrote on the Spot with David Rodgers, me and Mitchell Gunner wrote that. And you know, we put it plain as simple as we could with the facts that we know and the facts that are known at this time. And I'll read what was happened. If you have been under a rock or just hadn't gotten the news or whatever, it's all over social media. It's all over news outlets. But employees here in the city of Stark, mainly City Hall, were forced to leave the City Hall building as the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, FDLE, agents executed a search warrant. The agency gave a courtesy call to the Bradford County Sheriff's Office moments before arriving at Stark City Hall this morning. Sheriff's Office officials say City Hall is shut down or was shut down while FDLE agents searched the building. It doesn't say what the warrant was executed for. It doesn't say anything of the people that were involved, as Byron said. Also, everyone inside was forced to exit the building except the city clerk and one other employee. Investigators from the FDLE say the building was expected to reopen around 1. I do believe, Byron, unless you know something different, that it was. So
I don't know about when it reopened, and you can make up your own opinion about who was there, and that's
Right.
perfectly understandable. But like I said, he's the clerk. He had to be there for if they're removing documents and searching stuff.
And again, I can't confirm or deny who the other person is. You know, like Byron said, you can form your own opinion. We will take those on the air here. Comments, we'll answer it the best that we can. Yeah. But just like anybody else, unless you're deep into this and know some FDL officials that's done this, which I don't think so, or somebody that has gotten some information that is close to this, we don't know anything more, Byron, than they know at this time, except that the FDLE, hang on just a second, brother, except FDLE was involved. And I can tell you, when FDLE is involved, usually there's something major going on, and they have enough evidence to execute that search warrant.
And if you do know what's going on, please be very careful, because FDLE will get you for messing up their investigations too.
Yeah.
So I would leave it completely alone. Everybody knows who the clerk is. Everybody knows a whole lot right now, but we don't know the facts, and we don't know what's going on. We don't know that it was him or the other person that was there, or something to do with the other two people that were arrested this morning. We don't know any of this yet. Just let the facts play out and let them go down the rabbit hole, because more than likely it's involving more than just one or two people.
Well, and that's what I was getting ready to say. Whatever has happened, it's major enough to get the Florida Department of Law Enforcement involved. And I'm with Byron. Like you said, let's let this thing play out. I don't know all the facts. I'm not going to put our show in jeopardy. Byron, we talked about this. We will say what we know. We will answer any questions that you have to a point, B. To a point where we can answer it. If we know the answer and we verify, Dave, how many times have me, you, and him talked about verifying what is being said and what all the time, because we don't want to put ourselves in jeopardy, and we don't want to put out false information that may not be. So,
well, the simple response is that I know a lot of people have looked things up that have gone on in the past and know what has gone on in the past and are going to bring that up. That has nothing to do with what's going on right now.
Right.
I'm sorry, not with this investigation. You have to let this play out, because you don't want this turned on you in that manner,
Right.
in the court of public opinion, because the public, once they get an idea in their head, it does not matter one way or the other whether you're right or you're wrong or you're innocent or you're guilty. You can forget it now. These things and what we're doing right now, it's unbelievable. I mean, you can be sitting at your house one day minding your own business, and the next thing you know, you're a thief, a liar, and a cheat, and you can't prove any different. And even though you were sitting at your house, you've got a group of people believing that nonsense.
I want to welcome in Scott Munnings. You're right.
Please don't.
Melissa Banning, you're back, and I see your question here, or your comment. I heard it's more arrests to come to a few people. Again, we don't know that. We don't know in depth if there's 1, 2, or 22. We don't know.
Please let that play.
Let that play out, please, Melissa. I would appreciate it. And for you too, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, we're not going to report anything that's not been verified or confirmed by some either public official, law enforcement, or somebody that is close to the situation that is willing, and I guarantee you, me and you talked about that. Not when FDLE is involved. You're not going to get anybody close to that situation to say jack nothing. I can assure you of that.
Now, that being said, you are entitled to your opinion about what's going on.
Absolutely.
You're entitled to your feelings about what's going on, but don't just
let it play.
Let it play out, because I have a feeling that this is going down a rabbit hole, and it's going to be more than just a couple of people.
Yeah.
And that's that. Look, all of this set aside, I want everybody to think about this for a second. This is the city of Stark. This is your hometown.
This is your home. Yeah.
And what does it say about the people of Stark to have people running things that'll happen like this? What are, I mean, I know it's the court of public opinion, but what is everywhere else? What are the other people in the surrounding counties and surrounding towns saying about this? You don't want FDLE to investigate your government system at all in small towns. I can promise you that, because they're going to find something. Whether it's just something they were looking for or something else, you're going to find it.
Yeah.
So,
and again, as Byron said, that is great stuff that Byron's bringing up. If you want to comment on this, that's fine. Yeah, that's your opinion. That's your right to do so with the freedom of speech. Hey, you can do what you want to do here. I'm not saying that we're going to answer any of it. If we can, we'll answer. But if not, and I want to keep repeating that, because, again, this thing is still, what you said to me earlier, fresh. We don't know what's going on. This just happened this morning. An investigation, I'm assuring you, is still ongoing, and it may be ongoing for a while. We may not know all the facts for weeks, months. Who knows? Who knows what they found? Did they find anything? Like he was saying, what'd you say? You're guilty until proven innocent.
That's in the court of public opinion. But that's not how our law system works. You're innocent until you're proven guilty, and it's something that's been used right now in politics to railroad people. Mm-hmm. And yes, I'm talking about Donald Trump. Did Donald Trump do anything bad? I don't know.
We don't know.
But I do know that the majority of the court cases he's been through have been dismissed. And that says a whole lot.
Tom Bailey from Alabama's watching. Sheila Barnes, Charles McFarland, Rhonda Lynn Strickland. I haven't seen you in a while. Hello, Rhonda. Jeremiah McKenzie. I got to stop right here. Jeremiah's on and watching.
Jeremiah?
What's up, Jeremiah? Me and Byron, this kid right here is a hidden monster. He can quarterback. You know Jeremiah. We've had him in on the show. I seen him the other night at the banquet.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Getting bigger?
Yeah. And
are we talking about stand-up DE?
Well, he likes to play linebacker. So I think he could be a stand-up defensive. He's got the size. Not quite as big as the one-man wrecking crew yet, but he'll get there. He's still a junior. We got the offseason and everything. That young man's going to get bigger. Jeremiah, I told you the other night, hey, I'd love to have you back on the show. Me and Byron would love to have you back on the show, and Reese and the boys.
Bring the violence, man.
Yeah.
Bring the violence. I love watching you guys hit people.
Oh, yeah, especially Jeremiah. And let me tell you, he'll punish you when he runs the ball. When they bring him in on 4th and 1s and 4th and 2s, whoo! Hey, we've seen him run over some big boys, haven't we? And it takes an army almost to drag him down. That's why Bradford's been so good here lately. We've got a great program. And I just seen him on here. I had to just say that. I know we're talking about this other thing, but I had to say that.
I don't want to go any further with Jeremiah because I'm going to say something he's not going to want to do.
I know, let's say it. Let's say it. We want you to play quarterback. Please.
Thank you.
Yeah, we want to thank you, Byron. Thank you. We want you to play quarterback. I know, man, you want to play linebacker and you want to hit somebody.
Play both ways.
Yeah. We do got a kid out of Lake City. I hear he's playing on 7-on-7 tournaments. We talked about that. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to be good. Tyler Berry, who's a corner and a wide receiver that's coming back next year as well, says this boy's got a cannon. Said he can throw it through this wall right here. He says it hurts when it's coming at you. That reminds me of another arm called Dan Marino, if that's the case. But I ain't putting him in that category yet.
Let's just hope it's not the other way around in Byron Leftwich.
Well, yeah.
Did I say that?
Stop it. Ellen Disher Williams, I don't know. I don't know who was arrested, if anybody was arrested.
Yes, in the newspaper. You're talking about the newspaper? Or you talking about FDLE?
Yeah. Explain, because I think what she's saying is here. So
if you're talking about FDLE, as far as I know, nobody was arrested.
Yeah. Brad Smith is watching. Hello, Brad, which works for the sheriff's department as well. Let's see, Melissa, I've been there before. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. Chris Tucker's watching. Ellen Disher Williams. Good. Hey, your mom. Good evening from the Pacific Ocean in South America. By the way, Shirley, man, y'all are having a great time. I told Byron the other day. Man, I wish we'd have went on that trip.
Did you see how
She
said she posted on her
Facebook
from
today?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty.
Beautiful,
Second biggest lake in the world.
In the world.
And all I can think about is there's some type of bass in it.
I'm sure there is. Peacock?
Yeah, probably so.
Peacock bass. Yeah, there you go. Let's see. Melissa Manning, no, never mess with the FDLE. They are the bad boys. Yeah, well, depends what you mean bad. Good, bad, good, meaning good. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, absolutely. Like Byron said, he prefaced the whole conversation of this thing with about the FDLE, and they don't come in here unless there's something going on.
There's so much I want to say, but I don't know any of it.
No, and that's it.
I mean,
Yeah.
you
Can't say anything yet.
use reason and use common sense, and you'll start putting it together. Now, whether that's true or not from that standpoint, I don't know. My response when I found out it was to smile and go,
Hey,
amazed that it took this long.
long. Charlene Gwynn is watching. Tom Bailey. No, I don't know. Has anyone been arrested? I don't know.
If you're talking about it,
If you're talking about this particular today.
There
Yeah.
were 2 people arrested on the top part of the Telegraph. If you're talking about that, yes.
Yes, and we can get into that. We'll get into that a little bit before we bring our guest on. By the way, don't want you to forget, we got Jacob Underhill coming on. He's going to be with me and Byron here in just a few minutes after we look at this. Rhonda Lynn Strickland, hello, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. I hope everything's going well with you. Sheila DeRossett, well, whatever it is, hopefully they will get to the bottom of it quickly. If there's bad apples, then clean the house. If not, then so be it. Leave it alone. We're all going through hell with Trump as it is. Well, Bob Byron did talk about that a little bit too as well.
That's the thing about it. We can't. If you are of the persuasion where you're either center right or mid, you don't want to do the same things that's going on with other groups in this country, because they will try you in the court of public opinion and you will be guilty. You don't want to be in that same category because it's not right. You cannot do that to people.
No, you can't. Carol Wainwright's watching. Tom Bailey, can y'all say if anybody's been arrested or not? We don't know. I don't know. This thing is fresh. It just happened 7 hours ago, 8 hours ago.
Tomorrow.
We don't know all the fact.
Probably.
We may know tomorrow. As possible. But again, like I said, we may not know for a week or 2 weeks. What did they find? Who they find? What's going on? Who did this? Who did that? We don't know. We don't know it. We don't know it all. And if we knew it and it was confirmed, I can assure you Dave and Byron will back me up on this. We would say, if we had it confirmed and it was out there for the public to hear, we would say who it is. We just don't know.
I will tell you this. If it's not tomorrow, they're going down a rabbit hole. And it's going to be more than one person. If it's anybody at all.
Nathan Thornton's watching. Brady, 2 people. No one is saying who. Now, is that a confirmed arrest? Because we haven't gotten that news. Is that confirmed arrest? We know that 2 people were held back in City Hall today while the FDLE was doing an investigation. They let the other employees go home or whatever for a little while, and then they were supposed to resume back after 1 p.m. I don't know that, Byron. You don't either. I don't know who, and I don't know if the arrest's been made.
I am almost 100% sure that if there were arrests, you will hear about that tomorrow. And you will hear who it is and part of what happened. You will not get the whole story, not from the FDLE.
Yeah. And again, once we know, we will report it. When it comes, and it comes that time, we'll keep talking about this, and we will report what is given to us as long as confirmed. Again, by county, city official, law enforcement, FDLE itself, whoever. Once it's confirmed, yeah, we're going to report it. This is what On the Spot with David Rodgers is. not only Byron, me and you talked about this. We do local news, we do regional news, we do state news, we do Southeast, we do it all to include sports and weather, and we'll report the facts as we got it. If we aren't sure of anything, B, we don't say. Because why? Not only does it put that person that we're talking about in a peculiar position or in jeopardy, but it does us as well. Then we're discredited as a reporting news source.
Okay, Tom.
Did you skip? Did you skip?
Gives the answer to that question about what is the FDLE looking for? I don't know.
Okay.
They just served a warrant.
You must not have got Scott Munnings then.
Yep, I did. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay, buddy. That's all right. I just want to make sure we was good. Hello, Anthony Black. Cindy Lane's watching. I appreciate y'all waiting on the facts to speculate. That speaks volumes to our character. Man, Scott Munnings, thank you so very much. That's what we try to do. And as we kept saying, and I'll repeat it, I know it sounds like a broken record, but until we have facts in our hands that has been confirmed by somebody of significance, all I can do right now is give you what I know and speculate, what could have happened to a certain extent.
Yeah.
That's it.
It used to be called red journalism, doing it the other way around, but that's not the term that people like to use anymore. So, but honestly, David, I don't know. I don't know. I just know two people were there. We know who one of them was because we know who the clerk was.
Right.
And we don't know.
I don't know the other person. I can speculate who that way may be, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to say without facts.
Well,
you can speculate. He can speculate. Our guest Jacob can speculate. All of y'all.
I was told by several people who that is.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I don't know that, and I don't throw people under the bus like that, especially on this, because it's like we are members of the media,
right?
And I'm not being irresponsible. Not about stuff like this.
No, absolutely
not about anything really, other than letting my temper go about something. I have been known to get on.
Ooh, I know you've been. Yeah, you have.
I want to get on a soapbox about this, but I just don't know.
Be honest. A little town like this, a lot gets said. It's best waiting on facts. Well, absolutely, Melissa. Yeah, for sure. Stuff goes rampant a lot of stuff, especially in a small town. Sure. Why, Byron? Because it's more condensed. You know what I mean? And they're like in Jacksonville. If this happened, there's 40 other news stories going on. You know what I mean? But here, when something like that happens, it's more magnified. That was the word I was looking for. It's more magnified here. You know what I'm saying? Because it is a small town. Like Byron said, I assure you that Channel 4 News has got a hold of this. TV 20's got a hold of this. Every news outlet within this region has got a hold of this, if not the state. Because, once major news media outlets get it, they say, boom, boom, boom. It goes, what I like the word, viral. Those things go viral.
And they're not saying anything more than what we're saying right now.
Oh, absolutely.
And what you're going to get is you're going to get those news sources going to the FDLE, and the FDLE is going to go no comment.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get all of this background information on anybody and everybody that's ever sneezed wrong, that has anything to do with the government of Stark coming on, and you're going to get a whole bunch of nonsense. Now, some of that nonsense valid, yes, but
Denny Ray's watching. Teresa Ray Prescott, you jumped me a little bit, and I'm glad you sort of did that, because we are going to talk about that just a little bit. Yes, it was on the front newspaper. Eddie Lewis, a former Bradford County Commissioner, his son was arrested today. Not sure if that has anything to do with the City Hall being searched. No, I will get into what happened here. I don't believe there's any connection. This is something else. This happens to do with some lumber and some things like that I'll get into here in just a minute as soon as we move on. Teresa Ray Prescott in Alachua County. Yes, it did. It did happen there. And like I said, I'll get into it here in a little bit. I've got the article right here in front of me, and I'll get into that here in just a second. Me and Byron will. Jimmy Sparks is watching from Lake City. Jimmy, what's going on, brother? You doing all right? I hope everything is well. Connie Wilson. Remember, Connie used to watch the show all the time.
Hey, Connie.
Yeah, Connie actually moved. Really? She moved to Conroe, Texas. Yep, messaged me the other day and said, how's things going in Bradford County? Well, you're coming in on a good thing here. Or a bad thing, if you want to call it. But she moved out to Texas, said that she got a job out there and getting what she told me, a fresh start in life. Good for her. Good for you. They facing charges in 2 counties. Who are you talking about, Tom? You got to be specific with me here. Are you talking about the Lewis guys, or are you talking about what's happened today? So just be more specific when you say those comments, and we'll be able to answer it a little bit.
There's no way to tell about
no.
anybody in the courthouse in the
City Hall.
City Hall today.
Yeah.
And once again, City Hall, not courthouse, but City Hall. I misspoke. There's no way to tell that because FDLE come in and investigated. There's no charges as far as we know.
As far as we know,
because they haven't announced anything.
Right.
Now the other one, I think it pretty sure happened in Alachua County, didn't it?
Yes, it did, and we'll get into that here in a minute.
Be in one county.
Yeah, that was it was something to do with West Fraser Sawmill, and we'll get into that about some lumber that was taken, type things like that. But I'll read the article to you, and then you can make your own determination. Robert McGee. It's funny that you say, oh, Diane Ennis is watching. I love Diane. By the way, Diane hems and does some dresses and things like modifies wedding dresses and gowns and things like that. If you need a good seamstress, hit Diane Ennis up on Facebook or Messenger or something. Man, she took Shelly's dress. Remember that dress she wore down at the chamber? She did that one and made that one
nice.
Absolutely. Good evening, Connie. Thank you. I appreciate that, Connie. Yeah, we're trying.
Calling me all day.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, here we go.
Robert, you're retired, man. Why didn't you just tell them to leave you alone? You're fishing, man.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to get what Robert said. Robert, it started with us, with me this morning. I don't know. I know Byron was, when he's working, he tries to keep up with things. But I heard my phone going ping, 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 ping all day at work today. And I wanted to tell Brady that was what was going on. And I kept looking. Are you going to report this? Are you going to talk about this? What do you know, David? Who do you know? Do you know if there's any arrests? It just kept coming. Finally, Byron, I had to go like this. Click. I mean, I don't know because I didn't know. I'm in Lake City working, and this mess is going over here in our hometown. I mean, what was I supposed to say or do? Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I was in the middle of nowhere today, so mine didn't go off that much until I got back towards Gainesville, and it went crazy. So,
well, what I should have did is I should have just forwarded all the things to you.
That'd been fine.
So I should have just forwarded everything to you.
Well, some of my friends have already heard the anger about this issue with me, and it's. Like I said, I've made up my mind that I'm not going to run my mouth about it.
No.
But I will tell you this. Take a strong look at yourself when you check off your ballot box. Make sure you know who you're voting for.
We've talked about that many times. I want to preface back a little bit, Byron, and I don't know maybe if I should. Maybe I'll wait to make sure who's involved before I preface. Something that me and you talked about today before the show and what we were going to talk about and the content we were going to talk about previous conversations about this particular issue. I'll just leave it at that. Okay. What can we say? What do you think?
My previous conversation about this is I could not believe in a million years that nobody would run against the person that is...
We think. We know.
Anybody would run against it.
Right. If you remember, if you've been watching our show for any, and then I'll give it back to you, but if you've been watching our show for any amount of time, years back, we talked about this particular thing, and we gave scenarios, we gave different things.
And we gave
about
facts.
Facts
about
yes.
what happened.
Yes.
And a lot of people know exactly what I'm talking about. You cannot be in Bradford County and not know what happened.
Yeah,
that.
That's right.
Because it involved a whole lot of people in this town.
Yes, it did.
Do it.
All right. Anyway, we're going to move on here because we got a special guest, baby, that we need to get in here for sure, and that's Jacob Underhill. He's waiting patiently over here to get on with us and to talk about some of the things that he's got going on. Tom Daly, TV was the first, TV 20 was the first to report it. Probably so. They're right here. They're right here in Gainesville. I'm sure.
That.
Imagine that. Hey, quicker travel time from Jacksonville, but I'm assuming, and I assure you that everything, watch your local news tonight, and you'll see that this is going to be front news story, I assure you. Frank Cruz is watching from South Georgia. Say hello to Frank.
Hey, Frank.
What's going on? The Lewis guys. Okay, yeah, I'll get into that in just a second. Let me see. Judy Ann Bradley's watching. Tracy Moore. Ray, no, we haven't seen him in a while.
How's it going, Raymond? Good to see you.
Good looking here. Good evening, guys. Tuning in for Newport Richie. Hope you're doing well. This show is everywhere. We've had hits, I've told you, from many, many countries, too. Milan, Italy, Bahamas. We've had Saudi Arabia. Remember who was tuning in from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia? This show is worldwide, brother. It doesn't matter if we're talking local or talking national, like us, or talking sports.
Let's see how crazy we are. Is what they really do, David.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They do, brother. They do. I assure you. Let's see. Shirley says, Diane is awesome. She has done lots of alterations for her. So, yeah, anything that you need, hook up with Diane there. Ellen Disher Williams. She's asking Diane if you have a link. Diane, you can give your information to her if you want. Tina at a Glance is watching. Tina at a Glance. I think that's in my hometown, isn't it? Or is it here? No, it's in my hometown. I think so. Yeah, I think so. I'll have to double check that.
Are you talking about Pascagoula?
I'm talking about Pascagoula, Mississippi. Kim Whitmore Nichols is watching. Thank you for joining in. All right. Well, I'm going to go past that a little bit because I want to get our guest on. Dave, it is 7:57 local Eastern time right here in beautiful Stark, Florida, Bradford County. David Rodgers, the Byron Bagwell. Not only do we do this, but if you listen to Tornado Football, you can hear us each and every Friday night, right? On WEAG Eagle Country 106.3.
Sure.
That's a plug for you, Chuck, right there. And, of course,
make sure he knows it.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure he knows it. Cliff Smelly from the Bradford County Telegraph, our buddy that rides with us to the football games. Buddy, I'm telling you, those Friday nights, Byron, are so much fun, man.
They are.
Whether we win or lose, but even just going to the game, you ought to hear us three. Boy, I'm telling you, David, put a tape recorder up underneath there and just get us. But hey, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. No, let me preface. Let me go back. Hey, all the stuff that we talked about that's non-football related, you need to erase. Yeah, you need to erase. Oh, Hampton, Florida. Yeah, Tina at a Glance, Hampton, Florida. That's right. That's right. Thank you, Tina. I'm thinking of Jerry's Wigs in my hometown of Pascagoula, Mississippi. But hello, Tina. Glad to have you along. Liz Hillary Holland.
Where did that come from?
Jerry's Wigs. I'll explain later. But anyway, Dave Holland, the Dancer Destroyer, with us, and our guest fixing to come on, Jacob Underhill. No, Austin Stevens. He had a prior commitment, and of course, Mitchell Gunner. We're going to close out the show talking about him. Former Bradford Commissioner arrested for theft. Just read it real quick. A former Bradford County Commissioner was arrested for grand theft following accusations that he and his son stole lumber. That's why I was telling you it had to do with lumber. Eddie Joseph Lewis last held office in 2016 when Frank Durance beat him for the District 5 seat. The 70-year-old was arrested on February 13th for grand theft, fraud, and dealing in stolen property. He and his son and co-defendant Eddie Joseph Josh Lewis III were released after posting bond, as you said, Therese, in Alachua County. According to a sworn complaint, Josh Lewis's company was hired as a subcontractor to harvest 238 acres of timber in northeast Alachua County. The Josh Lewis Timber Company, which is his son's, was to take some of the wood to the West Fraser Sawmill in Lake Butler and some to the company's Maxville Clay Hill operation. West Fraser purchased the 238 acres in November after someone telephoned a West Fraser manager and reported that he had seen 5 trailers of logs staged at Eddie Lewis's Bradford County home. The company started an investigation. As part of the inquiry, an investigator for the company installed surveillance cameras throughout the 238-acre tract, recording every load of timber leaving those properties. Investigators also followed several trucks leaving the Alachua County tract and discovered that some timber was transported to Tatum Brothers Sawmill in my little hometown of Lottie, Florida, right there. The private investigator noted several truckloads of timber leaving the property, which the defendants did not report to the company on a load reconciliation report. An Alachua County Sheriff's investigator wrote in a complaint that he subpoenaed the scale records of Tatum Brothers and found that the ex-commissioner delivered 21 loads of stolen timber, according to the news article, to the Lottie Sawmill and was paid $41,020 for those particular logs. According to the scale records, Lewis told Tatum employees that the timber came from a woman's property. A recorded phone conversation with the woman revealed that the defendant and co-defendant are family members, which we know, the sheriff's investigator said, and not harvested any timber for her. The investigator wrote that the defendants indicated criminal intent by Mr. Eddie Lewis falsifying the scale records at Tatum Brothers, and the fact that the father and son were authorized only to take the timber from the Alachua County tract to 2 West Fraser mills. The defendant, and it keeps going on and it breaks it down more. You get the gist of the story. That is exactly what happened. It was dealing with stolen timber and lumber, and I guess tracking records were falsified, according to the news article. But I want to say something that Byron said. And brother, you know I love you. And I know that the, what'd you say, the public court of...
That's not public court of opinion.
No, it's not. No, it's
That's
not.
reported.
However, there's facts here. They were arrested, but they haven't had their court date yet. I don't think, according to this, they haven't had their court date. So, yes, they're guilty by arrest, but is the court going to find them guilty? You know, and that's where I'm saying, again, about the public court of opinion. And this here, it is facts. But until you're proven guilty, Byron, and you tell me if I'm wrong here, until you're proven guilty by the courts, I mean, yes, you're arrested, but, I mean, the court date has not appeared, is what I'm saying.
The bottom line to those statements is that those logs
yes,
show
absolutely
that happened.
Yes.
And there's a difference between having the evidence and the evidence being published like that and not having the evidence being published and saying things.
Right.
Because this, they going to jail.
Well, I know Eddie.
We know Eddie. I know both of them.
Eddie's a nice guy, you
Sure
know.
he was.
I never would have guessed
I've never had a problem
any
with
of that. I just hate that he's in that mess.
If me and you were on the phone right now and I told you that he got arrested for this, you'd say, David, I don't believe it. Are you kidding me? Or you would say, are you kidding me? You would question me 32,000 times, right?
Absolutely.
If you didn't see this in writing, you would say, if you were in Ohio and I was here, you would say, man, are you kidding me? Yeah, I know Eddie. He's come here and gets his haircuts a lot of times. And we all know him. And I think he's a great guy, man. This is just one of those things, man, that...
You start putting your signature on delivery logs?
Logs, yeah.
And something don't add up, and the company that you contracted out to starts going, where is the stuff? It's awful mighty hard to beat in the court of law. You're not going to beat that. Now, you may pay them off, and it may not go to trial.
About 10 minutes.
In other words, what I said, in other words, you may make some sort of deal with that other company where you pay back the money that's missing from the deliveries, and you not end up going to trial over it. But that's going to be up now to the state's attorney, too.
Mm-hmm.
So that would have to be arranged between the state's attorney and the company and them. But That's when you said how many deliveries of logs that was, I was
Yeah.
like, that's going to be around $50,000. Because
And you were close. 40
yeah, it was 41. Did you say?
Yeah, 40. Mm-hmm.
That's big business, and
Yep.
those companies will not play with you if that stuff starts disappearing. They will get you.
Yeah, and like Byron said, one of the last comments here, a staff member at the office of the pair's defense attorney, Bobby J. Frank, which is a good lawyer out of Gainesville. I've heard her win cases like this many, many times. I know she's well worth, I guess, the price that's being paid for that attorney. Said the lawyer was in court and unavailable to discuss the case. The employee relayed a message from Frank for this story. She said her comment is, we need to let the justice system play out, the staff member said. So,
What we were just talking about.
yeah, what we were just discussing. Yeah, so I want to get to the comments, and then we're going to bring our guest on. It's right a little bit after, it's 8:06 here, local time, Eastern time. Okay, Kim Whitmore, yep, okay, Lister hollering, Sylvia Underhill, Kelly Moore Rowland, Frank Cruz, Sylvia's everywhere, yep. Billy Rayburn's watching. Billy, we still going to discuss about our punt and kick competition that's going to be coming up at Bradford High School, hopefully April the 6th, and we'll get into that, Dave. I haven't told you all the story on that one.
I was going to ask.
Elaine Haynes, yeah. Date has been as far as us goes, but we got to put the steps forward.
Okay.
Elaine Haynes Martin's watching. Melissa Manning. It's about to be way more than that. I'm telling you, property for sure. I'm positive of that. If there's other things. What do we got? Canada. Miss Binion's watching from Canada. Look, she put a Canada flag there.
Hello.
Hello there. I told you. I wonder what part. Shannon Ford. They will take that out this county, cause judge being involved. Maggie Wiggs says, charge as convicted. Okay. So Yennis is watching, which is Diane's daughter. Dwight Allen's watching. Brother, he came on.
Yeah,
Where was he at?
I don't know, but I imagine Mr. Allen is probably pretty close to biting nails
right now. Good evening, brother. Christopher Campbell's watching. Tom Eddie Lewis may cut a deal and may not have to face trial. And that is what Byron just said, and that's what I said. You know, you were arrested, but are you going to serve any jail time for this? Or prison time, whatever case this may be. And again, Byron said it's up to the state's attorney. They haven't been found guilty, Byron, in the court of law. Will they be? Who knows? If that defense attorney does his or her job, or they cut a deal, like I'll agree with Tom Bailey, he may not face any time. He may not. Let's see here. Maggie Wiggs says restitution. That they'll probably just restitution, and they'll probably who knows? Possible. Wow, Yasteen out of Glen said Dana Bell is watching. Dana, where you been lately? I don't think Dana loves us anymore.
Yeah, Dana does.
Does she love us? Yeah. Oh goodness, you get that. Byron needs a polar pipe.
Woman?
Oh, I thought you said something else. Steve Rigman said Byron needs a polar pop. Oh, he's got one. He's got one down there. Where's it at, B? Rick Stevens is watching on the phone with Mama, Dwight Allen said.
You knew that I was going to have one of these somewhere, man.
And Melissa Manning, we can say that. Money talks, bullshit walks. Yep. Absolutely it does. So let's get into a couple of other things, and we'll hit these and other stories as we come. 8:09 Eastern time. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to slide a chair in for Jacob Underhill, our special guest tonight. He's been listening to the show, man. I bet his head has got this much information in it now. But now we need to talk about what he's involved in. We'll be back with him right after this commercial break.
Hey Tornado fans, this is Kurt Miracle of Miracle Automotive and Towing, proud sponsors of Tornado Football. I want to welcome you to beautiful Stark, Florida and David Hurst Stadium, and thank you for letting us be a part of this community. We're here for more than your automotive and towing needs. We're here to be part of Tornado Country. Go Big Red!
with David Rodgers this Tuesday, February the 27th. Byron, February's almost gone, brother. Couple of more days. Why is it a couple of more days, B?
It's a couple more days because the month ends.
That's right. Well, leap year.
It's not leap year, is it?
Yes, leap year.
There was a full moon yesterday.
There was too for several days.
Yeah.
Anyway, David Rodgers, Byron Bagwell, the Dancing Destroyer, Dave Holland, and we've got our special guest tonight with us, Jacob Underhill. Special guest, Underhill's Forge, specializes in knife making, better known as a bladesmith. I got taught that today, for sure, but that's good. And you can email him as we get the. I just want to give out his information real quick. You can email him at underhillsforge@gmail.com. Webpage, www.underhillsforge.com. You can use the Facebook link, or you can phone him at 352-875-3520. Jacob, welcome in, buddy. Welcome in.
Nice to meet you, man.
I know you're. I know some of your people and some of your family. I know you're related to Pam Whittle, which we all love. We think she's doing some great things here in Bradford County, running the Chamber of Commerce. And I'm sure you get that wheel all the time. And we know your father, Jim, right? Jimmy. I call him Jim, but maybe I'm better call him Jimmy. And we know some of your people, but as Dave's bringing that up, Jacob Underhill, Underhill's Forge. What do you do? What is an actual? Let me so our people know here. What does a bladesmith do? Bladesmith / blacksmith, right? You could okay.
I'm slightly a general blacksmith, but I really specialize in bladesmith and knife making. I really do all things sharp and pointy. Knives, swords, hatchets, axes, spears, tridents, maces, mauls, hammers, blacksmith tooling. I do some ornamental blacksmith work. You know, we got a project going on with a big theme park down in Orlando. I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Okay.
I'm just going to say it's a big theme park.
Okay.
So I do some ornamental work, but I really, really like knives. Sharp and pointy is my thing.
Sharp and pointy. I gotcha. More than weapons or guns. I gotcha. Okay. So
I'm getting in trouble for that.
I hear you. Yeah. So but there you go. So is this a hobby for you? I know it's a business. Is this a hobby for you? Do you do this full time?
It started off as a hobby, as a backyard thing. I used to do a lot of camping and bushcraft. Me and the wife, we used to love just go sit in the woods for 3, 4, 5 days, you know, and never had the knife to do what I wanted to do. That I always kept breaking. Had a buddy who said he knew what he was doing at his house.
Right.
Trained under him for a good minute. He taught me a lot. And then met the guy that I apprentice under now over in Gainesville, and kind of snowballed from there. Kept at it, and now, yeah, it's a job.
Good.
From a hobby to a job.
And that's good. And so I'm assuming you get a lot of orders, and I know Byron probably wants to ask you a couple questions as far as the technical part of it goes. I'm assuming that with your knife specialty, and I know a friend of mine that I went to school with, David Rodgers, which Byron knows, he's into knives. He used to make knives. Okay. Probably not as in-depth as you did. But I know he used to have a shop back there. Well, we've been talking and stuff. But I know it's very tedious work. It's very technical work. But do you get a lot of orders for like these specialty knives and the things that you do? I mean, and is it local or is it out of the state of Florida and regional?
I've got a couple out of the state. You know, a little bit of regional stuff. Just random thing. I got one out of Ohio and a couple out of Tennessee. Most of it's local, though. Most of it's local word of mouth, which I do appreciate. Actually, I like. I like seeing my knives floating around in this county and stuff. You know, and people recognizing me for that.
Right.
What was the other question?
Oh, well, no. I just wanted to know if you're more of your business is local, right?
Yes. Most of it's local word of mouth.
Tri-county area, regional, or just mainly in Bradford County?
Bradford, Clay, and Alachua.
Okay, and Alachua, so the Tri-County area.
Nassau, whatever Callahan is.
Oh, Callahan, yeah, Nassau County.
Yeah.
You get some Jacksonville orders as well?
Get a lot of them. I do the Callahan Fair, the Northeast.
Okay, so there you go.
So,
yeah, that's a nice size fair too. So
I like it.
Again, our guest, Jacob Underhill, just wanted to get him familiar with you guys. Again, he owns Underhill's Forge, specializes in knife making. He's better known as a bladesmith. If you want something made for yourself, and we're going to show you some pictures, but that's not the main reason we had Jacob on tonight. He's got another project that he's working on as well, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of background of what he does and who he is. And you can email him at underhillsforge@gmail.com, webpage www.underhillsforge.com, and of course you can use his Facebook link, or you can phone him at 352-875-3520. Byron, I'm going to let you get a couple of questions in there before we show some knives and he can explain what's going on.
What is the difference between a blacksmith and a bladesmith?
So blacksmith is basically a blanketed term for everything. Black is typically the color of material that I'm working with. Metal is typically black. You get goldsmiths, silversmiths, tinsmiths. A goldsmith obviously works with gold, and silversmith is silver.
Right.
Blacksmith is blackish material, being steel and stuff like that. Bladesmith is really we specialize in blades,
Making blades,
not
right. Horseshoes,
weaponry and stuff like that. Right.
Yeah. I wonder how many people know what a mace is besides me.
I know that.
A couple people actually. Yeah. We get them. I actually get a couple people wanting mauls a lot. We get a lot of mauls. Yeah. So
that's
Somebody asked me,
that's very cool.
axes.
axes. What about them?
Make those?
Yes,
Do
I
those?
do. Yeah, I got two different styles I can do. I can do a camp axe hatchet. Hatchets is what I
Hatchet, yeah,
hatchet's
hatchet,
what
yeah.
I really know. Axe is
Okay.
just a bigger version.
Right.
I can start with a solid block of steel where I punch it out and then draw it out, draw your blade and everything, and that equals out to about a three-ish pound hatchet or axe. You can make it a little bigger, get somewhere around 4 or 5 pounds. But then I've trained under a fella named Elmer Rausch who specializes in Viking style hatchets.
Ooh.
Bearded hatchets and
Yeah.
axes and stuff like that, which is a rapide technique where I start with mild steel and I forge it around, create a bow tie, and then forge it around, forge weld in a piece of 1084 high carbon steel, and that's more of a fighting style throwing hatchet. It's about 1 pound.
Right. So I like watching on television. I like watching the axe throwing competitions.
Mm-hmm.
And do you are you going to get involved in that? Do you make those kind of competition axes? Or is it a regular axe? Can you explain the difference in that a little bit? What you see on TV with the axe throwing is it an actual axe or is it a modified version of something? Or
They typically just have a certain length handle and a certain weight. Everything else is really kind of up in the air as far as what blade style or how big the bit is or this and that. The really handles have to fall within a certain length criteria, and it has to be within a couple ounces of each other. So no one can say, "Oh, well, he's throwing heavier than me," or "He's got a longer handle." It's.
So have you thought about getting into that, making those, and maybe reaching out to somebody? I don't know how busy you are. I'm sure you're real busy, and of course we're going to talk about what you got going on, but thought about getting into that because I'll tell you, it's big time, man. Every time I turn on, especially late at night, axe throwing competition, and I see it quite a bit, B.
Sure.
And man, I know there's big money in it too now. Since it's
Well, it's funny
television.
you keep saying you buy one. I'll make one if somebody specifically requests one like that.
Yeah.
We do have a hatchet competition coming up for the hammer in.
Really?
Yes, that's it's funny you keep hammering that in.
Hammering that in. I love it. I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
Byron?
So,
Okay. I have had this thing about watching people blacksmith for a while now.
Me too.
The processes that go into it, it's an art form. It really is an art form. Do you do anything with Damascus?
I do a lot. I do some Damascus. I don't have a power hammer at the house. I have to go over to the guy that I apprentice under and use his power hammer.
Right.
So I don't do a lot of Damascus. I don't just get the wild hair to go, oh yeah, let's spend all this time making all this.
Right.
But upon request, if you want Damascus, I can definitely do Damascus, and I'll draw out a big bar and make it and do what you want with it.
Yeah, that's it's amazing to me to watch people do the different styles and forms of Damascus and how you can actually put those two metals, basically one metal and powder.
Right.
So that is a canister style Damascus. They're the powder. Damascus is where you're taking, really it's called a pattern welded steel. Damascus is now the blanketed term for it, but it's actually just pattern welding steel. I'm taking 2 or more different kind of alloys and forge welding them together to create a pattern.
Right.
And then I know if I hit it this way and I draw it this much, and if I twist it or if I do this and that, I can kind of guess what the pattern is going to do.
Okay.
So you can create your own special little pattern out of that.
Right. Yeah.
I can make it out of steel cable. I can take just 1084 and 15 and 20, which is 2 different kinds of steels. I can forge weld them together. I can do the canister. I've even done it out of timing chains before. That looks pretty cool.
What's the best to work with?
Mono steel. Just one solid bar. It's already made.
All right.
Is that in the steel business? Because I'm in the steel business. Is that what we call flat bar, flat plate?
Yeah, it's just 5.
Flat plate. Okay, I got you. Okay,
flat.
so
There you go.
there we go. So easy to go. Yes.
It comes in a rectangle. I just forge it to shape.
Forge
from
the
there.
shape.
If you and I don't mean to step on your toes, and if this is wrong, when he's talking about Damascus, and he's talking about doing that, you actually have to basically make sure that those 2 pieces of metal are forged well enough together to where it doesn't separate and get cracks. So it's tougher, and I've watched too many forged fires, so I'm just
Forge of Fire
Yeah.
shows a lot.
By the
of that.
way, David Baker's going to be here at this event too.
really.
Okay. So that'll be a great event. Did you say that again, Jake? Jacob.
David Baker's coming down to the hammer in that I got coming on
Yep.
this weekend.
Forge and steel.
Forge and
That's
fire.
good.
Forged fire, yeah.
Yes.
Watching those guys do
He's,
some of that's just.
What's that event that you're?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, yeah, great lead in, Dave. Yeah, what do you got coming up? So I know we wanted to talk about this, and like I said, I wanted everybody to get familiar with what you did and what you do. But you have an event, a couple events, but the one major event that we were just sort of talking about just a little bit. Why don't you fill everybody in on what's going on?
So March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, that's this weekend, we're having a hammer in. A bunch of blacksmiths are getting together with a bunch of forges. We're going to do a couple different projects, classes. We have a little hatchet competition going on within ourselves. See who's
I
best.
challenge you.
There are open forges, so y'all two will be able to get on a forge and do what you want. We
Hey,
have some competitions and stuff.
That I would love.
I will try to do way too much.
Oh, come on now. It'll be fun.
That's true. That's
But a
true.
hammer in's when a bunch of blacksmiths get together, and we sat on projects, try to teach each other, learn off each other, or really just come together for one goal. And this goal this year is to raise money for the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation.
Awesome.
So we're opening
Wow.
this up to the public. We're inviting a lot of people, whoever, show up. Let's hang out. Let's have a good time. Be all kind of shenanigans and stuff happening.
That's the word we like to
I
use.
understand you're going to have classes for the public.
We have classes also for the public. We got Kirk Sullins, who's done all of the ornamental work for Bass Pro Shops, like all the big work for Bass Pro Shops. He's teaching animal heads to where you can come in and learn how to forge an animal head out of 3/4 square stock.
Really? Okay,
we
which I'm not familiar with.
We have another buddy of mine, Jeffrey McGuffrey. He's making Russian roses, is what we call it. It's pretty much a forever rose. You take a flat stock, 1 inch by 3/16 flat stock, and you roll it up and create a rose. You'll be able to just show up and do it if you want. We got plenty of classes.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
And then we have a little bit more intermediate, more knife maker style, or jewelers. If you're into jewelry and stuff like that, stone setting, how to set stones into material.
Oh, now see, that would be cool. I like that now.
Them are the classes we got going Friday, Saturday, and morning of Sunday.
Okay.
We got a hatchet competition the evening of Saturday. Friday is forging competitions where all the blacksmiths get together, and who's an amateur who ain't ever done it. You'll raise your hand.
Hey, yeah.
And I'll say, okay, cool. Here's this piece of 3/16 square stock.
Right.
Turn it round and then tie a knot in the middle of it. You got 10 minutes. And then I walk away.
And then I'll walk away. Goodness.
But it'd be y'all two going against each other, right? And it don't matter how it looks. It's just bragging rights between each other.
Yeah, that's
you get to
good.
have
Yeah.
fun.
Tied it or not.
We'll tie the knot. Tie the knot. Oh, man. I could just see mine. I probably couldn't even get close.
It's a lot
You
easier
got to
than
know,
you think.
and it probably is, and you're right.
Stick it in the forge until it's hot enough.
Exactly.
Beat it with a hammer until it elongates. I don't know if you could do it with 2 pair of tongs. But that would be my guess to try.
What? We're bending it over?
Bending it
Tying
over.
the knot?
Tying the knot.
No, you use 1 pair of tongs and a hammer. That's it.
And you got 10 minutes to do it all.
You got 10 minutes to do it. Yes, sir.
That'd probably take me 10 hours.
I think I have an idea.
Yeah?
But I don't know that it would work. I don't know that would work either. That's why I say I know too. I've watched too much of Forrest.
Yeah, Forrest,
Come
yeah.
on out there and try it. I mean, either it'll work or it won't.
Yeah.
We'll all laugh.
That's it.
Yeah, we love that. Well, we're not afraid of laughter now.
I'm not afraid of a professional laughing at me. I'm afraid of this one laughing.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Because I know I don't know what I'm doing.
Where is it?
So this is going to be at the Underhills Farm, the Pecan Groves over there, just past Morgan Mart.
Okay.
16.
Yep.
Underhills Farm. Mm-hmm. That's where it's going to be back in there.
Is that here in
Yes, it is. It's
Bradford?
Yes. Yeah, it's towards FSB.
Yep.
Morgan Road.
Okay.
Morgan
Yeah,
Road,
about
right there on the
Morgan
corner of Morgan Road, right there.
okay.
On 16.
Yeah, just past.
Just past that. A little
about a
past that.
mile. Past that.
Past,
Wow.
Past the
Okay.
old Circle K.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
So y'all are
Just
going to
past
do
it.
it in that open field area. You got that open field area
So
back
not
there.
in the first field.
Not in the first field, okay.
Go through the second field, and that
Okay.
big pecan grove back there is where we're going to do it.
Yeah, because that's where Pam lives out that way too. So
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Back in there.
All right, and tell everybody again, man, because you hit my heart, man, especially when it comes to children cancer and things like that.
Absolutely.
This, man, I think what you're doing, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening in and you're still tuning in here, this is a wonderful thing that this young man is doing and everybody else that's involved, because the proceeds are going to what again, Jay?
The National Pediatric Cancer Foundation.
Cancer Foundation. Now, can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Is that something that's near and dear to your heart? Is it something that y'all came up with as a collaboration? Just a little background.
So I'm not going to go all into the detail on
Okay,
that. 'Cause
okay.
It's kind of wishy-washy there, but
Okay.
there was another competition that I was a big part of. I was a judge in it and everything else. We raised $15,000 for the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation, and then the owner of that company washed away all the money. I mean, it went to this and it went to that, and the NPCF only got about $500 out of it. There was 6 of us in the Bearded Brotherhood of Blacksmiths, the club that I'm in. There's 2 clubs in Florida: Florida Artist Blacksmithing Association, and then the Bearded Brotherhood of Blacksmiths. FABA's more of the nicer people to meet and stuff like that. And the Bearded Brotherhood of Blacksmiths, we're a little bit more rowdy. Like we like to play and have fun and
Sure. Well, and it should be a
probably
fun
not
event
good
too.
to have around your kids, you know, that kind of people. But nonetheless, we like to have fun. Is all I'm saying.
Do you have to have a beard to be a member?
Oh no, we got all kinds of ladies in the group. Our welcoming package for them is one of those little Amazon $2 beards. You know,
Oh my goodness!
This is going to be entertaining.
This is going to be real entertaining.
the thing about it was there were 6 of us that took part in that other competition, and we all promised these kids that we was going to help raise them money. One of the people that was in that company there, that the NPCF, they come to that competition. They brung their daughter that had leukemia. The money was supposed to go to them, and it was all, it was a big ordeal. And I promised the kids that I would get them this money, and I didn't break the promise, but nonetheless, the promise didn't get held up. Right. So we're trying to raise money for the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation.
I like that. I really like the foundation there.
We're trying to show that we're not like those people when we hold up our word. This is what we do.
Absolutely. And you know, who knows? You know, $15,000 substantial amount of money over a weekend like that. You never know what the donations that you may get from people hearing right here. We got a lot of people that watch in here and say, hey, they may hit you up and say, hey, how can I donate? They may not even come to the show, but how can I donate? And of course, we'll give out your information again. But you know, we've had that before. You remember, we've had somebody doing a charity like that, and the next thing you know, they tell us, hey man, some anonymous person gave us $500. I mean, you know, so that's what you're hoping for as well. That somebody's tuning in and going, hey, I can't make it to the to your event, Jacob, but I don't mind donating 100, 200, 300, 400. Jacob likes cash. Yeah, Jacob likes cash. So he appreciates any kind of donation that's going to be coming
It all
toward
goes
this.
to the kids.
And yes, it does.
To the kids.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to go to my website and click Epic Hammer In. That takes you straight to the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation. And the way I got it set up is all donations go straight to them. It never goes to me at all. I don't see any of that because that's the problem that happened with the last person is it got way too jumbled up and everything. I don't want none of that bad juju. I just want to help the kids out. That's all I care about. I don't care about money.
Well,
There's not going to be any cash then.
I mean,
you can take that.
we'll have it.
cash.
And
He'll
I will
take
be
it.
Very specific,
Specific about it,
Right,
yeah.
Yes.
But you need,
well,
you need
look,
to-
February is almost over.
Mm-hmm.
This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is where this and when this is going to happen.
That's
it's
right.
coming up this weekend.
Yeah. That's
This weekend. So everybody, get off your couch, man.
Yeah.
And show up and enjoy the forge and donate the money.
Yeah, and I love that passion, David. I can see the tears in your eyes a little bit right there.
Kids,
and let me
man,
tell you,
kids.
and let me say something to that. Dave said, I'm telling you, get to the event. You may have something going on. That's okay. That's okay. Donate to the cause. He'd love to have you a donation. You don't have to be at the event, but I'd like for everybody to be. Man, I wish that place would be crowded, you know. But hey, if you have something going on and you got, man, I got previous plans, donate to the cause, and that's all he's asking for.
Well, I can tell you something else too. If we do end up going out there, you'll have a good time watching me and him make fools out of ourselves.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah,
And
boy.
look-
Yeah, record that, and put it on Facebook.
That's
And if
something. I've
Yeah.
actually been really
me
interested
too.
in start
Me too.
learning how to do that because it fascinates me how somebody can actually create with metal.
So a lot of us, even though we're a lot of rowdy, a little bit rude kind of people, for the people that actually show up and look like they're wanting to learn and they're showing the enthusiasm, especially kids, we will go all the way out of our way to make sure that you feel like you've been focused on and
Are there any more outlets to donate other than your website or?
So you got the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation itself. You can go to right
Yep,
there.
that's
They're
right.
up there
That's
at
right.
Tampa.
Yep. And you're, yeah, or they can call you, and you can go, hey, we can meet, or hey, well, let's do it this way. Cash App, you got Cash App?
I got Cash App and
Okay.
everything else. We got everything set up
Yeah.
straight through the National Pediatric
the
Cancer
foundation.
So they do the Cash App, PayPal, Square, all that goes right there. I could do the cash if you want to do cash.
Can we help you out by if somebody wanted to donate through
us, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Contact us, and we'll get the money. We'll get it to him.
Yeah, it's set up
For sure.
I got that website right
Yeah.
there set up specifically for
Okay.
all that to where on the spot can add their own donation system to it, and it goes straight to that fund.
Very
Multiple
good.
people can create their own little page and own little thing.
Right.
There's two things in this segment. By the way, this is. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. That's okay.
I don't want to break your rhythm.
Okay, no problem.
But before we go on,
I was going to say it. I was going to say
You
it.
did not tell
Yeah, I
me.
was going to say it.
Okay,
I was
wait,
gonna-
I
was
just
gonna
wanted
say.
to make sure
No,
it was said.
I seen it. I was going to go down the comments. No, you're good. Hey, look, this is Jacob Underhill doing a great thing. The thing that caught me, Byron, about this, about what he said, is I'm trying to make a wrong a right.
Yeah.
He was involved in something else. It went awry. It went wrong. He's got enough heart. He's got enough mind. He's got enough intelligence. And he wants to make a right. And he wants to help out this foundation because it's near and dear to his heart. And I appreciate that part of what you said. The blacksmithing and all that, they can laugh at us all they want. But I like what you said about why you are doing this. And you just want to make a wrong a right and do the right thing for those kids at the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation out of Tampa, Florida, by the way. Byron was getting to it as well, and I appreciate Byron reminding me. I pray, Melissa Manning says, I pray it gets all attention, especially for kids with cancer. Cancer sucks, and she prays for a cure someday. And that's what we're all wanting, for
right,
sure.
right.
So,
Scott Munnings, David, Aiden is watching with my 2-year-old daughter. Hello, Aiden. How you doing? And the 2-year-old. And there's Byron. And there's Dave. And here's Jacob right here. We're loving it and doing our thing here. Gordon Smith is watching. Sheriff, what's up, babe? What are you doing? Hey, you got any information for me? Never mind. We'll talk about that later. Tina at a glance. Good night, gentlemen. Thank you, Tina, for tuning
Don't
in.
pay any attention to David Rodgers.
Hey, did you see I just quickly went by that? Johnny Watterson, hoping the weather cooperates for what sounds like an amazing event for a very worthy cause.
Even though he's a promoter himself, he knows how important the weather is when doing something outside.
Yeah, absolutely. Stark Downtown Merchants, as Byron said, hey, Jake, great job, by the way, on this interview. Tell them you'll be at the Strawberry Festival, too. Yes, he will.
Yeah, I'm going to be out there, too.
You'll be out there doing your thing?
Yeah, I plan on having my coal forge out. By the way, I work coal. I don't really do a whole lot of propane. I use actual coal.
Use actual coal?
Yes.
Okay. So if we're doing a show out there, are you going to call me out and say, hey, Dave, or hey, Byron, hey, come on over here. You need to do some of this.
At the Strawberry Festival?
Yeah.
Well, you better come to the Hammer Inn and practice.
Yeah, practice. You're right about that, Dan. Yeah, the practice.
Sure.
I love it. Practice in.
I'll throw it all at you and say, I'm going to go get a corn dog or something.
That's close to David now.
Yeah, that is. Hey, we've talked to Pam about doing the show out there at the Strawberry Festival, and she's all for it. I know there's going to be a big event. Actually, Pam was just on, by the way.
Yeah,
I think she
said.
said. Did you see her?
Yeah.
Did you say hello to her?
Hey, Pam.
Hey, Pam.
But I'm gonna have my coal forge out there. Then I'm gonna have my anvil. I'm gonna have a couple different post devices, a bunch of old equipment and stuff like that. And I'll be doing live blacksmithing demonstrations.
Nice.
I'll be making some. I'm gonna try to make a strawberry actually.
Are you?
Out of some. I'll make some black iron pipe and I'll forge weld the tip down and weld it around. And
Ooh,
dimple it. And
we're doing a show out there, and we're gonna be by him. Let's set up by him. And then if he wants to say, hey, David, come show us your skills.
Bam,
I'm right there. And then he said he's going to go get a corn dog and something to drink and all that stuff and just leave it with me. Hey, you may not want to do that, brother.
There is something about watching somebody create.
Yes.
Basically with fire and metal.
Mm-hmm.
There is something that's...
How old is that?
Every cowboy show, I'm a big Western guy. I watch Western shows all the time. Every time you see a Western show, what do you see? Yeah. Hey.
You're talking about going
blacksmith. There's a blacksmith in every cowboy show, man. Gotta love it. It's that
copper to steel, copper to iron to steel, and understanding how to do that. You talk about metallurgy and the development of the different types of stuff. It's a whole entire different story too. Yeah. But to be able to take those and have the knowledge to draw that out and do what you want to with it, that's extremely cool.
Well, the Romans and the Vikings, they didn't go down to 7-Eleven to get their swords.
No.
They made them themselves.
Donnie Bagwell wasn't there to open up a 7-Eleven. Maybe he was.
Donnie Bagwell wouldn't have opened up a 7-Eleven. What are you talking about?
Goodness.
You have that CSM designation behind you.
Yeah. That's it.
Throw Dad under the
bus. Yeah. Hey, I'm sure Mom is going to tell you, but she said good night, by the way, and I'll tell you here in a minute.
And I'm not 100% sure, to tell you the honest truth, that Dad likes people very much.
Well, we're going to leave that alone. Moving on. That's bad, Byron. Pam Whittle said, good job, guys. Glad to see you have Jake. He's really trying to do something good here. Absolutely, Pam. Absolutely. No doubt about it. That's why we have him here. Him and Dave talked, man, and this was just a great opportunity. Yeah. And anytime we can have guests on, Dave, we love that. That makes the show just be more creative. You know what I mean? Instead of just talking about some of those things that we talked about that you listen for an hour for, there's other things going on that aren't always bad. There's good things going on. I still believe that, Byron, you may think I'm wrong here. You tell me, Jacob, you're here. I think still good outweighs evil. I really do. I think that
yes, there's evil out there, and there's evil people and evil things, but I think there's more good people than there is evil people. Byron, you may agree or disagree. I don't know. I believe that. I want to tend to believe that. And this is a good person. We're all trying to be good people, and this is a great cause.
I believe everybody has the capability to do evil or good. It's a moral value that people have that keep them from doing evil, because it's in every man. It's been in every man since the beginning of time. Cain and Abel.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
So, Jacob, you brought some of your work.
Yes, let's go.
pictures of
Yes,
some of your
yes. I'm sorry about that, Dave. Forgot about it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I was, yes. He did. Yeah, on some pictures
I was
here.
wondering
pictures
if
of
we could go ahead and
Let's just go right to it, Dave. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to show you some of Jacob's artwork here. I don't want to say artwork, his work. And he'll explain as the pictures come through. Go ahead,
Call
man.
it art.
You call it art? Okay, I'm calling it art. Okay, that's good.
absolutely.
It's art.
Yeah, it is art. It is an art.
That is
Yeah,
an art.
That is an
Feelings
art.
there.
No feelings there.
So that there's a 260 layered Damascus that I did, random pattern. That is a production line of knives I'm doing for Timber Creek Tactical.
Okay, I've heard of
that. And Crestview. That is kind of my smaller EDC style, and that is called a Puko. That is a Scandinavian knife. That's been
I want one of them.
And then my wife there, she does all the resin material for the handles. That there is another 260 layered Damascus. And
look
then that's my camp knives right there. That's my pride and joy is those right there.
Look at the
That's
colors
what I love
on
to
that, man. So your wife does all that? She does
does
all
the
the
handles, yes.
Really?
Go back to the
Charlotte.
first picture.
Yeah, go back. Yeah. I like that one smaller knife. What'd you call that?
It is a Puko.
Puko.
Puukko. It is a
Okay,
Scandinavian knife that has been around since the Viking era.
Wow.
And practically that design ain't changed.
Look at that.
That is beautiful.
Beautiful right there.
That
Look at the
really is.
designs in
Thank
that knife.
I like that piece right there.
Yeah.
a lot
I
of
actually, honestly, Dave, I like
like
that
it all.
handle. I do too. I like the handle.
I don't see
the
how
colors
you can
that she
get
put
that
in there.
grade in the metal like that.
So that is two different styles or two different pieces of metal forged welded together. That's your 1084 and 15 and 20.
Right.
So 1084 when etched in acid turns black. It oxidizes and blackens. 15 and 20 is high in nickel and stays silver. So you stack it up as a big stack of material. That was 15 layers forged welded together, drew out, cut, stacked, drew out, cut, stacked. Heat, beat, repeat, over and over and over and over.
I'm glad that you're doing that for that company there.
Those are my more standard knife that I like to make. That's Bacote wood, and then that's a 5-inch blade, 5-inch handle. There's a drop point knife that's just really good. I mean, I don't know how else to talk about it. I love them.
Right.
Those are the ones I like to make. Those are a little bit smaller. There's a smaller handle, so the rounded part right there by my pinky fits right up in the meat at the back of your hand, and it's just super comfy. Inch and a quarter wide blade, 4.5-ish inch blade.
Nice.
They're really, really comfy.
It looks sharp.
Yeah, it does.
They
It
are.
does.
They're all very sharp. Most of the steel I use is ADCR V2.
This is my little favorite knife right here, the Puko.
That was actually my everyday carry.
Really?
Yeah.
The Puko.
Yes, it's a Scandinavian knife. My wife there did the little resin spacer that you see.
Right.
And then that is Gaboon ebony for the handle itself. That is that's not stained wood. That is what it looks like natural.
That's
That's real. There ain't
Wow.
no trickery going there.
They make guitar
Fretboards.
out of ebony.
Yep, that's Gaboon
That-
ebony there.
Byron, that's a good looking knife right there, brother.
sharp.
Boy, that's sharp. My God.
That man.
So that's my wife's galaxy themed handle material there. You know, it's got a little galaxy thing going on. She does really good with aluminum honeycomb and resin.
I like
they're
the
super
design
slick.
she put on there.
I
That's-
did
That's
too.
one of my favorite things about it. Is that's
That's almost like Jacob.
Man.
Maybe is that like almost like a spider web type design, or is it more? It looks like a spider web to me a little bit, but
Carved in there.
so that is just aluminum honeycomb. You know, you use for like
honeycomb.
airplanes
Okay,
and stuff like
that's
that.
what I was. Okay,
All it is aluminum honeycomb, and then she'll stretch it, pull it, crush it. She'll manipulate it however she wants. And she pours it into the big molds blocks. They come out 3/8 thick, 6 inches wide, 1.5 wide, 6 inches long, 1.5 wide.
Nice.
And then I cut it, shape it, and sand it on the handle itself.
Wow, that's all right.
Please tell me you actually have a sander. You don't just use sandpaper.
So I use 36 grit to rough everything out to the profile of the knife, and then it's all hand sanded from there.
Oh,
Hours
I've tried doing it on the sander, and you just can't get the contours and the feel right. It all feels flat when you do it on the sander. I actually prefer doing it by hand.
by hand.
Because you can get the curves right. I like to give everything kind of this little Coke figure or Coke bottle design. It's a little little thinner at the front than it is the back, and then it tapers downwards also, so it really hugs up into the hand.
I know knives are all different, but what's the fastest you've built a knife and the longest it's taken you to put a knife together?
So, without a handle on it, I've forged a knife to finish in about 3 hours. That was starting from bar stock, forging it to shape, heat treating, tempering, and sanding. That was about 3 hours there. And then the longest, that very first one that y'all was liking there, that was about 2 months worth of work right there.
God, that thing, man, I'm telling you, you said Damascus is not the correct word for it.
It is Damascus, right?
Okay.
It's a pattern welded steel, but Damascus is what everybody's calling it. Right, that's the go-to term for it.
That particular one come out really.
That first one is beautiful.
Man.
I like this knife. This is. I love that. I love the handle to the blade itself, and I'm like, oh my God, that's a good combination there. Yes.
Thank you.
That one right there. Your wife did really good job on the.
How long
handle
is that?
So that was 6-inch blade, 5-inch handles. I usually ride about 5 inches
right.
for my
Yeah.
handle. Yes.
About as long as this.
Dollar bill.
Yeah, it was about 12 inches overall.
Okay, all right.
Maybe
Okay,
a
I
touch.
got you.
Same thing with that one. That's about
That-
a 5.5 inch
Dollar
blade.
bill's the handle, and it's a little bit longer.
longer.
The blade's a little bit longer than dollar bill.
Dave, that knife right there, that color. I am a blue guy and a black. That is pretty handle, my gosh.
So I do have
Does
to
that
say.
fold?
Is that
Does that fold up?
no? Everything I
No,
do
it's
is fixed
straight.
blades. That is a
Fixed
full tang fixed blade.
How long is that one?
That one was 12 inches overall also.
Real quick, explain tang to people so they'll know what you're talking about when you say full tang.
So there's 3 different styles of tangs that you get on a knife. Your typical it's kind of hard to do without drawing it.
Yeah.
Your typical knife, you'd have your, let's pretend this is the blade.
Sure.
You have your tang that comes off of it, and then you'd have a guard that fit up on it. Can you go back to the very first one?
The
please?
first one. And while he's going back here, hang on just a minute. I want to just read off a couple of comments just real quick. Gordon Smith says he's enjoying the show. And then he comes back and says, in big letters, I know nothing. Just another fine day serving the best community in the nation.
I told you.
Great answer. We talked about that, didn't we? Leave him alone. Yeah, we got to leave him alone. Yeah. Hey, I had to get him riled up. You see, now he put some comments out there. We're going to have the sheriff on with us.
When you come for him, I didn't do anything.
Yeah. And a little ping, 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 ping. That's all you have set up by him. Yeah, exactly. Ellen Disher Williams says, thank you, Sheriff. Bobby Harden's watching. And Ellen said, beautiful workmanship, by the way.
Thank you. So for a through tang knife there, you have the blade itself, and then right where the guard starts, it tapers down to a little tail that comes off of it.
Right.
And that tail tapers back towards the end of the handle, and then I take a block of wood, drill it out, and slide it on there. Your full tang knives, if you go back to the other one that you liked with the galaxy theme and everything.
You go to that one, Dave?
Which one?
The galaxy
the
thing.
galaxy
I think it's 2 more up.
Yeah.
Either that one will work too.
Yeah, that
you can actually see a touch of the silver underneath my fingers there. The handle shape and everything is the blade. The handle for the knife itself is forged to that shape also. There's not a little tail coming off of it. I take 2 pieces of wood and glue it to each side. So the entirety of the blade itself, the entirety of the handle is metal.
Is metal.
You know, it ain't a little tail coming off. That's
Right.
Same
There's a
thing
full-
with that one.
You said full time, right?
that's
Full
called a
tank.
full tank knife. Yes.
That handle
there's a
looks a lot smaller than the blade,
Yes.
but it looks like an average hand. It would fit right in the palm.
So that's actually kind of my ladies' style, is what I
Yeah.
call it. A lot of women was saying that I was making them too big for them. Believe it or not, that's more of my customers are ladies than guys.
gosh.
Yeah, I know, right? They said that the handles were too big, so I made something like that to where it's a little bit smaller, but it's wider. So that big finger swell there really makes you want to choke up into it, and it creates a lot of retention. It feels like you can
And
do some
fill
real
your
work with
apples.
it. Yes. Cut cheese with it.
Yeah, cut cheese. Yeah. That's a
love it.
beautiful. Do you love this knife here?
love
I
it.
do too.
I don't know that I've ever
What is that
seen
again?
a knife made with ebony before. That
Yeah.
that is really pretty. Man.
What's
The
it
red,
called again?
There's a red and a black. Is that two different woods or?
So the red, and I'll get to you.
Okay.
The red is spacer material made by my wife. That's a piece of resin there. And then the black is the ebony. The silver looking piece is just a piece of aluminum bar stock that I've used for the bolster itself, which is the transitioning piece between the wood and the blade. The knife design itself is called a puukko. It comes from Scandinavia.
Puukko. I've got it right there.
Puukko. It comes from it comes from Finland. They're actually still using it in their army and stuff like that over there. And it's been around since the Viking era. It's been around because it works. It's simple. There's not a lot going on there. It's comfortable.
Do you have a
Simple
sheath
design.
for all your knives?
So every single one of my knives, I make the sheath for. I do all the leather work also.
Nice.
I feel like
Good
as the
question.
knife maker,
That's a great question.
I'm not better than most at leather work. Not as good as some, but better than most. I feel like as a knife maker, I should at least know how to make a good quality sheath. Everything starts out as natural vegetan leather, and then cut it, shape it, dye it, stitch it. Everything's hand stitched. I ain't got a machine for that either.
Wow. Ellen
am
Kisher
so
Williams
enamored
says,
with
"Remember
these
that,
Viking
fellows.
knives.
More ladies with them. Remember that, fellas. I agree. I got you. I hear you.
Okay, Ellen.
All right, Ellen. I got
We know
you.
You've had razors in your purse.
Yes,
A teenager.
absolutely.
We all knew that. We just
Behind
didn't say
every
anything.
woman, there's a beautiful knife.
Well, a lady bought that one right there, actually.
Did she?
I don't blame
she said
her.
that was going to be her everyday carry.
That is
She beat me to it.
that
That's
thing is
pretty.
beautiful, man.
The next knife, go to the next knife, Dave. I think it's the last one with that. My God, there is something about that knife right there. Look at his hand. You can almost see your face through it, and I love the color combination that you got, that your wife did with the blue and the black.
Yeah, she's.
Look how shiny the blade
That's
is.
what I'm saying.
So
Look, you can
I
almost
do-
see your hand.
I do have to say that photo's unedited. That's no trickery there.
That's it.
That's just the only trickery was I wasn't in the shadows.
Wow.
I mean that's
God, that's
Was that in a piece of wood?
Yeah, I just stabbed it into the table.
So the blade is actually silver and black.
That's pretty cool, man.
yeah. I'm trying.
So whenever you
Let's see,
forge, you
here
oxidize,
and
you
then
get
there.
a mill scale on the top of the blade, right? That's why they called it a blacksmith, is because you get the little bit of oxidization mill scale that shows up, and if you
Right.
don't remove it, it's just there. A lot of people are calling it wrought iron nowadays and stuff like that, which ain't technically the right term. We have wrought iron, and I do use wrought iron, but that's
Wow.
anything pre-Civil War.
But most of it's
that-
made out of steel, and steel and iron are two different things.
Yes, yes, it is. That being said, that mill scale I just leave on there because it creates you can't get that texture without it being in a fire. So that's my way of saying it actually was made in a fire. I had to heat it, beat it, straw it out, shape it.
Right.
I had to forge it. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ellen, yes, we will. Dwight Allen says that looks awesome, all of them. And yes, we will. We'll share the link to his Facebook or your webpage. We'll share that, Dave, to On the Spot as well. I've got all his information there. Let's see, let's call it 8:54. Want to try to wrap up the show here a little bit. Did you have something else?
I've
Bob?
got two more questions.
Sure, let's- okay,
Neither
then.
one of them are going to take long because he's going to laugh at me and probably tell me to go away with one.
Okay, go ahead, brother. Sorry. dude.
Okay, first, is it true when you do canister Damascus that if you put white out in it, it'll keep the metal from sticking to the canister?
Yes, it is true. It is titanium dioxide is what you're trying to do.
Okay.
That's what's in whiteout, and that creates a weld flaw. You're purposely making the welds fail.
Okay, so the metal in the center that you're welding together doesn't stick to the metal on the outside. That's why you're doing that.
Yes, it keeps it from sticking.
Okay, that was my first questions, and everybody's going, "What is canister Damascus?" You watch Forged in Fire, and you'll see it. I promise you, it's really cool to watch people do all of this stuff with Damascus, whether it's folded or canister or anything else. The second question is, you want to challenge Mr. Rodgers?
Do we want to challenge?
We can't do it in one day. I can promise you that.
Okay, what do we
What
need?
I'm about to suggest is
Okay.
it's probably going to take a month.
Okay, all right. Let's do it. What's the challenge?
Claymores.
What?
I knew he was going to.
Yeah,
That's right. I knew what he was going to
Yeah.
do when I said that.
Y'all two
Yeah.
have at it now, man.
You two have at it. Oh boy, here we go.
What I'm talking
I'll
about.
give you I'll let you use my shop. You want to have at it.
What I'm talking about is about a 6-foot sword.
Sword, yes.
And you're not talking about something that you amateurs can do. I promise you.
No.
Because the
You wouldn't even be able to lift it up with one hand.
it's a two-hand. Do you remember the movie Braveheart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a Scottish claymore.
I love that sword.
And actually,
I love them too, but that's a.
correct me if I'm wrong, B, and Jacob too. Highlander used one of them too, didn't he? In the show Highlander, was that?
To begin with,
yes,
he did.
yes.
Before
Great show, by the way.
he
You
got the
Highlander,
katana
you'd love that.
from.
Was his? Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Gosh, man.
I can't remember. Sean Connery
Connery.
played him, but I can't
Yeah.
remember what the guy.
And then the actual regular show. You remember the regular TV show that came on, the Highlander? I think.
Katana.
Yeah, it's called.
It was
Yeah.
Katana.
Okay. All right.
supposedly folded some crazy amount 10,000 times.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dwight Allen says he loves Damascus knives, and Ellen says she's going to go visit you at the Strawberry Festival.
Yeah,
she
please
said.
do. I have some knives for sale there. I have none
Okay.
made yet, but I got to get.
Oh
busy
yeah,
on
you got to.
that.
Yeah, you'll get
Yeah, I
busy
get
on
it.
that after this event here. I'm sure you'll get busy
I gotta
on
get
that.
with it and make them.
I'm glad to have you on the show, brother. Great thing that you're doing for the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation. I'm going to let you have the last little bit here as far as the conversation goes here and the interview. Give yourself a plug. Give yourself a plug and tell everybody where you're at, what you do, how they can get a hold of you, and what's coming up.
So I'm Jacob Underhill of Underhill's Forge. You can get with me on underhillsforge@gmail.com. Facebook, my webpage, underhillsforge.com. 352-875-3520. Don't be afraid to call or text. I'm a bladesmith. I make all things sharp and pointy.
And the event you got coming up this weekend for the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation.
Oh.
Yeah, you man. I'm gonna give you the floor. So
Got an event coming on March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. It's a hammer in for the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation. We're trying to raise money for the kids. Open to the public. Everybody's welcome to come on down. We have open forges, classes. You'll feel free to come on and just beat on some stuff. It's real good on getting the rage out. It's a good stress relief.
yeah, and all
Really is.
and all the money raised for this event is, like he said, going to the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation out of Tampa, Florida. He's going to make sure that the money gets there. Everybody that's involved. So come out. If you can't come out, you got prior plans, like you said, David. Hey, hopefully everybody come out. But if you can't, hey, how about a small donation? Small donation to, like you said, the kids and the Cancer Foundation. Great cause. Always looking for a cure for cancer, Byron. And I tell you, this is one of the things that's near and dear to my heart. Besides our wounded warriors, that hits home real hard for me. I'm prior military, so and Byron loves the military. Those two things right there, you could give the world to, man. I'll tell you. the kids trying to beat this thing, and of course, you know, our wounded warriors going out there and protecting our freedoms each and every day, and things that's happened to them. And now it's time for us, Byron, to pay it back.
Well, whatever you can afford, 10,
Yeah.
20,
Whatever.
5. It doesn't matter. Or if you want to cut a check for $1,000.
Yeah, well, hey, he'll take it.
Yeah, it's tax season. Your checks are coming.
Sure,
A little bit of that. You can't take it with you.
Yeah.
I've heard of people literally hearing about events like this and cutting the check for the entire amount.
Absolutely.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens.
So-
and guess what, Byron? As Byron said,
They'll take everything that they get for it because it's a good cause.
hey, as Byron said, guess what? It's a tax write-off, too.
Absolutely.
My gosh, why wouldn't you? Tax write-off. So, absolutely.
And folks, just to let you know, all the information you need to get your money to him is on the lower third here. His phone number, his website, and
And we're going to post it as well. I've got the information. I'm going to post it on the spot page. So, Jacob, thank you for coming in, man.
Yes, sir.
Great pleasure. Everybody,
Yes, sir.
everybody had a something very nice to say. Love the knives. Love the. This has been a great and special show. And I'll just read off the last comments. Dwight Allen said he'll see you at the Strawberry Festival. Much respect. Good night, brother. I love you. And so does Byron. We'll talk soon. And Ellen says it'll change a life if you do that. And that's exactly what this man is trying to do here, is just change a life. Just do his part. Just, hey, pay it forward, as we like to say. Pay it forward. So a couple of last little notes. Somebody asked me on a messenger, I forgot to open up my phone, Byron. Somebody asked me, yes, we are going to follow up on these stories. Somebody said, are we just talking about this and letting it go? No. We are definitely following up. I can promise you, with these guys, we're following up on those stories. And both of them, I know somebody said both of them. Yeah, we're going to let you know, and the paper's going to let you know too as well, but we're going to let you know. We're following up on both stories. As we get information, and it is confirmed, we will post it. I assure you. Mitchell Gunner has been helping us out with that as well. Speaking of Mitchell Gunner, on the Spots Motorsports page, go out there, like it. We're both linked in. It's our sister page. Man, you like motorsports?
A little bit.
Oh, do you? You ought to go check out on the Spot Motorsports media page. Hey, our guy Mitchell Gunner, who used to host with us now, we put him on that particular show, and he's done wonders with it. Over 10,000 followers, almost 11, probably closer to 12 now. And as NHRA season comes up, Gator Nationals, the numbers are going to even jump more. So doing a great page. But you can catch him and Robert as they interview all kinds of drivers. They have all kinds of guests. That show is on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Now, he's not always on. Usually he tries to have an interview if he comes on, or if there's a very, very special event. But you can follow him on the Spot Motorsports Media. That show comes on at 7 p.m. on Thursdays. Mitchell Gunner host, and Robert, his sidekick, co-host with him. He loves doing it. They love doing it. We love them doing it. It helps both pages. And keep up the great work, Mitchell. All right, couple of last things here. I'm going to give the floor. I know Jake was already said. David, last comments, 10, 15, 20 seconds, whatever you want to do. What you got anything to say?
Man, the cancer with Kids for Cancer, it's just in my head. I'm going to go home tonight. It's going to be in my head when I lay down and wake up in the morning. I just wish there was something more I could do, you know. Donating is probably the best route for me.
Right, I got you. Well, great closing. Byron, any last comments?
All right,
You're on the spot, by the way.
Yeah, no, I'm on the spot. We got into a subject tonight that not a lot of people know about me. I briefly have talked to Dwight Allen about it a little bit, but this is something I didn't know, Jacob. I didn't know you were doing this at Stark.
Yeah. This surprises everybody, actually.
This is something that I've watched for years, and I've sat back going, I'd really like to learn how to do that. I don't know if I'd be any good at it because it's an art form, but it's something that I've always wanted to try. So I'm probably going to go out there Saturday or Friday. Saturday.
Yeah, we're going to pick a day. We'll come out there.
It won't be Friday.
Yeah,
I can promise you that with the way with my job.
Yeah, not me neither. Probably Saturday or Sunday.
Probably Saturday and Sunday, and I'm going to try this, and I'm going to donate some money to this because that is a very good cause. And anybody that has the honor to actually hold up his words and hold another event is somebody that I want to support.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. And just a couple of quick comments. Pam Whittle said Mitchell Gunner's working on the Strawberry Festival car show on Saturday as well. We knew that. Yeah, thank you, Pam, for that reminder. Absolutely. Me and Mitchell talked a little bit today, and we talked about that. Joe Rikus, who I used to serve with in the U.S. Navy. Hey, Joe, how you doing, man? We need to get together and have some dinner one night, man. It's been a long time. Probably 20 years, man, since we've actually contacted. So, wow, I will bet he will be teaching soon, talking about you. And yes, exactly. All right, guys.
I got one more
Sure,
question.
go for it.
This weekend's event, is it open to the public or is there a entry fee?
So it's if you're going to participate, we ask that you donate $20. If you just want to come down, hang out, and check things out, it's free. We're not in it for money. We're not trying to make any money out of it.
But you're absolutely in it for money.
But
money for the children.
I'm just trying to make. I'm just trying to get it for the children.
Right. Yeah. So that's
absolutely.
We're asking a $20 donation fee. If you ain't got it, oh well. Just throw $5. We're just trying to raise money for the kids. That's really it. So it is open to the public. Everybody's more than welcome to come down, hang out. If you're going to participate, for sure, $20.
All right. It's been a great show tonight, guys. Wow. What a lot of information. What a lot of things coming on. We're getting nothing but positive vibes and feedbacks here. There's going to be a lot of views on this show just because of the topics that happen and the things that were going on. And this guy doing his thing for the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation. Guys, again, it's been a pleasure. Jacob, thank you for joining us.
Yes, sir.
Hey, love to have you back. Maybe we can show some other knives, and of course, we'll be at the Strawberry. We're going to see if Pam will set us up beside you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to see if
I'll be able to hear anything.
Oh, that's right. There's going to be tapping and beating. But hey, yeah, we may have to get off of. Yeah, we may have to go. But he'll come find us.
That just went.
Yeah, I know, I did. Our producer, director, Dave Holland, the Dancing Destroyer. Thank you, Dave, for all you do. Thank you for the lower thirds. Thank you for the colorful background that you've got here. My brother from another mother. I love this guy to death, man. We've become really good brothers, really good friends. We're family, really, all of us. But the Byron Bagwell, my host, my brother, do this, tornado football, and anything else we can get into, right, brother?
Pretty much.
Pretty much, that's what we say.
Well, not anything.
Well, okay, some things.
Something.
Okay, there you go. And my name is David Rodgers. I'm the host of On the Spot with David Rodgers. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for a great show. Thank you, guests, for coming on and all your comments. I hope we answered each and every one of your questions as best as we could. You can go back after we get done and watch this show right away live on Facebook on the replay, or you can wait for our weather guru, Austin Stevens, who couldn't be here tonight, to download it on YouTube. If you don't have Facebook or any other social media outlet, you can go to YouTube. It will be downloaded by 7 p.m. tomorrow. So a couple of ways to watch the show. Again, thank you very much. Hey, y'all are the ones that make the show, man. We're just up here just running our yap. Y'all guys are the one that makes the show and keeps the show going. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for tuning in. Spread the word about us. Really, we've got a lot more things coming up, Byron. We've talked about some topics, Dave. We've talked about some topics. We've got some things coming up that you're going to really be interested in, some projects and things that are coming up. And hey, as the presidential race starts heating up, as Byron mentioned just a little bit earlier in the show, we're going to get into that. I know Byron's very passionate about that. So am I. We're going to get into those things and other things that are going to be coming in the summer. Hey, tornado football, of course, always. and any other sport that we can get into. So God bless you guys. Y'all have a great night, a great rest of the week, great weekend. We'll see you next Tuesday night. God bless you guys. Have a good night.